Alright, so yeah, we just like been watching like caving videos. Well, we just watched this one, and there was another video that we watched where somebody died. But this, whoever is doing this, like, is like crazy. Like, I don't understand why would a person want to do this. I don't see the excitement in this. I'm just like claustrophobic, but I'm not scared of like. I just wouldn't do this. This is stupid to me. Like, especially going to a cave, I wouldn't do this. Like, again, people do this because of like excitement. They get excitement and all of that. They like the experience.
Adrenaline rush.
Adrenaline rush. Like, bro, I'm not doing this, bro. Like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, just watch this, y'all.
Are very, very tight. Upon entering the cave, it's immediately obvious that not all of the cavers will fit through the tightest portions of the entrance. The lead caver begins to chip away some of the more obtrusive rocks in order that the mapping...
And also, like, where's these caves going to? Like, where do they lead to?
They don't know. They trying to make a map out of it.
So I'm just gonna be putting my whole body, my whole life in jeopardy for not knowing where I'm about to go, where I'm going.
That's what they doing.
Oh, this don't make sense. Like, what?
Only a couple times I ever wish I had a mask in a cave, and that was for a hantavirus.
Interesting.
We were digging through, rat minion or mitten piles.
What do you think the danger of that is with rat and bat poo?
After that trip, I did have some, chest, congestion and stuff.
So this is what they were chipping is through this
area. Look how small this shit is, bro.
Easier to squeeze through. This is a big cave, but you got to get through this to get in there. Gary elects to make the squeeze head first, with both arms at his side. This makes the body as streamlined as possible while exposing the front of the face and chin to more damage along the rocks. Size of body is exchanged for leverage and comfort. Many cavers have a low tolerance for both of their arms trapped at their side.
How is this
Small
exciting?
Plastic pieces are laid on the floor to enable the cavers to make the tight squeeze. This is Gary. You want to give a squeeze? Nice and high. Easy. That's quite an
That's why I said earlier, he would be without a shirt soon.
Goodbye, Gary McRoad. He does not love that at all.
Look what you just said. They can't even hear behind you. If you get stuck, nigga can't hear what the fuck you saying. Dog, this shit don't make, like, who wants to do it? Like, this is some creepy shit. Like, people that do this stuff, like, be crazy. If a hurricane hit, you done for. If a earthquake hit, you're done for.
Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Like, why would you want to do this? Like, bro, I don't see, like, if it's the end of the world coming, you're done for. Why are you putting yourself in a situation like they don't even know, like, what if an earthquake happened? Now you're definitely done. Like, you're definitely stuck. Bruh.
They don't get smushed.
If they don't even get smushed, they're gonna get trapped. Like, the whole cave gonna cave in. And now you...
Ain't nothing they can do. But just wait it out.
You know how far people are from you? Like, you ain't even near no type of real live people to come rescue you. Like, you shit out of luck. Like, you know how far a cave is to, like, society? Like, bro, these people are slow.
If I follow you, Gary, then I guess I know I can fit.
Make him jump.
I'm gonna go one arm. Did you go both arms forward or one arm back?
Both behind me.
Oh, okay.
I can see you. The lower arm probably can be.
Yeah. No, this is much nicer. These sliders are great.
Look on his chin.
Yeah, we could probably bring a sheet through here, just leave it, because this makes this so much easier.
Get something for, I'll smash that for your number of subscribers on your channel. Because that
we don't even ask. We don't care. People don't gonna watch us. This is, I'm not even sure I would call that squeeze. Well, you know what? Okay, so with the cardboard, super easy.
The next cave down, that's all I need.
So how did they get out?
That's a great question.
So how did they even get out? They doing all this shit going forward. How you get out?
I have no idea. They gotta dig their ways out then.
Like, bruh, they not even thinking like y'all trying to explore a cave or squeeze through all. How do y'all get out? Are y'all going back in reverse and doing all that same thing? Like, how is that exciting? How is it exciting to go one way, damn near fighting your way through, to go back that same way to fight? Who got you? You know how much energy you are wasting doing this?
Too much.
And then, like I said, like, you can't even breathe. Then, like, it's not even no fresh air coming. So, like, you know how foggy your brain is getting because it needs oxygen, fresh air to, like, cope. How you're not even getting no fresh air? Like, bro, like, this is crazy. This is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I just kept putting it in front of me. The sled.
Because I got my loose shirt on and everything.
Yeah, it's like you don't get.
Apparently it's not helping.
This. No. Getting
And whole team, remember at the beginning of the jump, he just had his shirt. Look, this nigga had a hoodie on. Look what they
They
doing.
must
He added
regroup
layers.
and replan,
You making it
as the
harder.
second narrow passage is both longer and tighter. This is where even the most experienced cavers may want to rethink their strategy.
Well, the part that really got me was like, I assume this is the next squeeze area.
Yeah.
So you're like, yeah, you got all this in here.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm looking at it. Yeah, I did.
So
So that's
this is afterwards is this okay?
That's a standing room.
And of course.
How the fuck did they, like, how is it even sitting like that?
We're noting in here like formations or
And it got
That's
this
cool.
a bigger part
it seems like as
just to go in an even smaller part.
We can push you through. Or has he got this far before?
This is the farthest it's been in.
He's in.
Yeah, well, he just needed a little sibling rivalry.
How small, how
Okay.
tight that.
The drill is coming. Now let's get Gary through there.
Not even for $1 million, I would never.
Shouldn't be talking too much over the
Nah, it's, well,
It's also
I don't give a fuck if they say we got a billion. Like, there's no amount of money that I would do this. Like,
twist your
bruh.
body, you can get through a smaller space.
He's skinny, but the rest of them bigger.
Okay, we're coming. It takes a moment for the other cavers to notice there's a problem. You want back? On his first attempt to the tightest portion of the entrance, one of the cavers has become stuck in the passage. These kinds of maneuvers can be dangerous if the caver is alone. But with the team present, assistance is always close by. I will. The caver is wedged in a small passage, hands down and at his side. He now has almost no leverage to move himself free. Calvin moves himself into position where he can pull his team member by his ankles, backward until he is free. With limited space, it is always a fight for leverage. Want more? I'm gonna keep hold of this one. That is long and narrow. But after a few moments, the caver is freed. You're free here. Relief only lasts a moment, as the team will work to chip away more of the basalt passage and try again.
Try again after just getting stuck. Wow.
So when do you say, all right, let's go home?
No time to admire his own work. Arlen makes the assault on the tiny passage.
Look, the nigga sweat. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no oxygen. This nigga sweating, bruh.
There's no oxygen, there's no AC, it's just nothing.
Like, bro, this nigga sweating. Like, bro, your brain damn near about to like fog up and say, "Hey, it's time for us to go home." Like, why are we here? Why are we doing this for a YouTube video?
Yeah, I mean, but it's easier to get through now. You just gotta move slow and then kind of wiggle your shoulders.
If
So
one of them niggas
they
died,
come unstuck from the ceiling.
Most of your clothes,
That
though.
changes everything.
Yeah, I mean that's why you gotta wiggle your. It can definitely from the other side. You can definitely whittle it down more.
With the director's cut.
Yeah, that's right. I cut all that. Where I looked dumb, I cut all those things out. Yeah, it's already tight for me.
I bet you do.
Where does it get tight at? So we use these for smoothness. I'm taking the cover with me underneath me. It feels great. I can inch it along.
you
If it ever gets real tight,
say he need a hat on?
Yeah.
it's not tight. What's up? Well, that's wonderful. The squeeze master had to exhale to get through, and he's putting 200-pound bodies through this. Come on, guys, it's fun. Running 20 miles a day is just good exercise. It's fun. Everybody's doing it. You have to decide which way you want your head to be, because once you're locked into position, that's pretty much it. Okay. This is fun. I was hoping for this. Okay, so I haven't really tried it. It's still not that tight for me. Boy,
That's
this
not
cardboard
tight.
makes a
I
big
wonder what
difference.
his definition is.
Is this whiter right here or less white? Okay. Can Gary get through this? Yes, but at what cost? We can pull you through. Okay, I think I can get through this. That's not a problem. Keep this cardboard over there. Yeah, you got it. Look at that. That's a good squeeze. No more excuses for anybody else.
I don't know how to go in a red shirt to do anything.
That is slick.
He jive like a fat boy too. How this nigga even? Well, they chipping away. That's why. Remember, he drilling too.
It would be nicer if I had a bit more cardboard. Yep. For both those areas, if you brought cardboard in, would be
Oh man,
pretty much.
I'm gonna have good nightmares about this one.
Gary, you are the nightmare.
Look at his face. He's
So
beat
you're the
up.
monster in the cave.
For somebody. Whew, I wouldn't have done that unless there was a big support crew here.
Yeah. That was awesome. I feel like I can feel the cave wanting to take my pants off. Yeah.
The caving team has all successfully made it through both squeezes. Again, a regroup is necessary to plan the course for the rest of the cave and begin the map.
So what about this little piece here?
Yeah, no, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll buy it.
Yep,
This is like classic.
It's just around the corner.
Yeah, under and over.
Oh, that's just a little.
Like a normal caver would be scared that they're lost
I feel like even if they wanted
Yeah,
to go
actually,
home, they just
it does look
couldn't.
up here, it looks
They
a little
gotta
bit
dig their
lossy.
way out first.
It's got
That's what I'm
goes a
saying.
couple
Like,
ways.
why are you doing
Coming
this?
back to where I'm sitting?
At least
Yeah.
we have
Is
no
that a
energy
dead end?
left,
No,
but you
it's a
gotta get
window.
some energy from somewhere.
Shit out of luck. Like, you shit out of luck with that.
It looks like that lower passage comes in through there too.
But look, there's these everywhere in here. These candle formations. We call them lava candles, and they're quite nice. And this cave is a little bit mazy. It's pretty large, and you can see the roots. This means we're not that far. We're not that deep yet. So I'm gonna type
So
a
y'all
spot
want to
here.
go deeper.
But down here, look at these formations. I can't zoom in on them. I will in a second. But there are some big formations.
go
They're all
fast,
some of them
but
touch. They're like a
biggest
foot high. Those are very nice. That's a very nice set of formations.
Now, I was just guessing when I drew that in. 'Cause
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I still want, all this stuff should somehow coincide with where we're
Right.
at.
Mapping not only requires technical expertise, but good planning, strategy, and creativity. The cavers put their minds together to decide the next step.
Well, no, I mean, I don't want to reshoot all the legs on it.
Right.
Hey guys, so I'm just coming out of this, and check out this room. This is a huge room. Wow, like 15-foot ceilings. Goes under that way. Who knows where? The guys are
How
not
y'all
behind
calling
me.
that
They
a
sent me here
room?
because
That's a
they said,
fucking.
this was a cool room.
It's not a
And
room.
indeed, it is. So this is the back of the main portion of this cave, and this room is locked.
Earthquake. Shut all that shit down.
Anything will shut all that down.
It's got 15-foot high ceilings. It goes down. Passage comes in over there.
A flood has shut all that shit down.
It's this way, and the mappers are here. They're going to come out underneath this floor. Then they come through with details. And there they are. That was good timing.
We're not a little bit lost.
Are you lost? Completely. Well, it's a big room, huh?
I recognize this from the videos, yes.
It's turning to the left. Can we just rest a couple minutes?
The cavers take a short rest as they examine the map and make a plan for how to proceed.
Boy, you see the dilemma we got.
Well,
Here.
we'll when we get back to here, we'll resurvey on the way
Yeah,
back.
we need to look at this more carefully. This area down here, when we leave, we have to, we'll be all tired and not want to do any of it, but we need to fix this part.
I'm in the back of this cave and I'm trying to get further, so I have my rock chisel and a few items, but my clothes are going to get shredded here. Let me set this down quietly. So what I like to do is I can pull my shirt up way high like this, and then I drag myself into the shirt. So that is a way that I like to drag myself through these caves. Visually, it looks like I can get through, but you know, I don't know for sure until I stick myself in the passage. Okay, so it turns out, you know, I was just guessing at what was happening. This is the beginning of the cave, so we found a way where it loops around and reconnects. And so this passage that I'm jammed in, they didn't know. They're mapping the cave, and the passage loops. It looks like it goes near the entrance, but there was a little tiny crack, which I'm in right now, and it comes out at the entrance. So if we can fit through this, we can actually get out at this portion of the cave. It just snagged my clothes. See, it's no big deal. But I wasn't sure Gary could do that because it would get snagged up.
Yeah.
Oh, you got cardboard. That's what I was yelling for. I was like, cardboard!
Oscar follows through the loop, which connects the entrance. The connecting passage means the cavers do not necessarily have to leave the exact way they came. Unfortunately, the tight entrance passage still remains.
Those other two squeezes are much worse.
Well, they're longer.
Yeah.
That's just a little duck on there, and you can chip that off.
Who's next?
You want me to grab that?
Yeah, sure.
Hi.
If I didn't have cracked ribs, it might be easier.
Oh, that's right. How's your face?
Jaw's still broken.
Yeah. Is it just healing?
Yeah, it takes about 6 months. 6 months?
But they didn't have to wire it shut at least.
Arlen recently had a biking accident, resulting in cracked ribs and jaw.
So why is he
For this
dead?
reason, he's only taking a light caving day.
It's just not closing right.
The break in the bone, you mean?
Yeah. No, my jaw. Like I close my mouth and I have the jaw sliding.
Like your teeth don't match?
Yeah.
Thank you. I keep leaving Oscar work with I leave stuff behind. Of course, I got your phone once.
Yeah, you did. I was trying to tie my shoe. Maybe I should just go to the city today.
Oh, you're making it easier on yourself. You can't take that cardboard, you can slide right through,
That's
huh?
what I'm doing.
It's nice.
One exit squeezed down, one to go.
Now on the write-up, just say it's real easy, no big deal, anyone can do it.
It's important for the cavers to keep their body up higher in the passage, resisting gravity to pull them down, as the wedge shape serves as a catch trap if they slide lower.
See, that's not bad. You just keep yourself up against the wall.
You just keep going up towards the top.
Except for like right there is the tighter spot.
Okay. Gotta get some stuff on this really quick.
I'll get you around. Are you trying to collect your cardboard as you go?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here facing this way too, so if you slide out, I can just collect it out and hand it out.
Well, I got the farthest one behind me.
Yeah. You could actually just keep kicking with your feet.
The data necessary for the map has been collected. The caving day is coming to a close. The map, once finished, will serve as a guide for future cavers wanting to observe the beautiful menagerie of formations and passages this cave has to offer.
These niggas are stupid. Oh, this is something that they do.
Oh, wait, them?
Yeah, this is something that they really do. They really be doing this shit.
They probably get paid for it. That's the only way I could see.
Wherever your summer takes you,
Come on.
paddle light.
Vorovkina Cave. At 7,257 feet deep, Vorovkina Cave is the deepest cave on Earth. The cave is so deep that it takes over 4 days and thousands of feet of rope to descend to its immense depth. And certainly, what would the deepest cave be without a couple of horrifying incidents? These are those stories. On the border of Russia and Georgia is a mountain range known as the Caucasus Mountains. This mountain range is notable for a few reasons. First, it's home to Europe's highest peak, Mount Elbrus, at 18,500 feet. Then, on the western side of the region of Abkhazia is a sub-range of the Caucasus Mountains known as the Gagra Range. There are some decent-sized mountains in this area as well. The highest among them is just over 11,000 feet. But this area is notable for another reason. The Gagra Range is primarily a limestone mountain range carved out by rivers over its geological history. The prehistoric rivers created a bunch of deep canyons and the largest caves on Earth that are currently known. In fact, the Gagra Mountains are home to 4 of the deepest caves anywhere on Earth, and the deepest of these is Vorovkina Cave at over 7,000 feet deep. For context, that's the same as stacking 23 Statue of Liberties on top of one another. The entrance to Vorovkina Cave is also located at an altitude of 7,500 feet, meaning that you have to climb up a literal mountain to get to it. Once you're up there, you're still surrounded by the rocky cliffs of the mountain ranges, and then in the middle of these cliffs is a fairly unremarkable looking hole in the ground. It's obvious that it's the entrance to a cave, but you never expect it to descend for over a mile into the earth. When the entrance was first discovered in 1968 by a group of cavers, they only descended down to a depth of 377 feet before returning to the surface. Then in 1983, the cave was discovered for a second time by a separate team of speleologists from the Parevo Speleal Club from Moscow. Over the next 3 years, a series of expeditions pushed the depth to around 1,400 feet, but then for reasons that are unclear, there were no more expeditions until the year 2000. Work resumed again that year, but it would take all the way until 2015 to discover a new shaft that would unlock the true depth of Vorovkina Cave. By 2017, they had extended the maximum depth of the cave from 1,400 feet all the way to 7,200 feet and mapped over 17 kilometers of tunnels and passages. Then finally in March of 2018, the official deepest point of the cave was discovered at the bottom of a subterranean lake where the cave meets the water table, giving Vorovkina Cave a total depth of 7,257 feet, or 2,212 meters. 6 months later in September, the Parevo team returned once again to continue exploring the cave, and this time they were joined by photographers Robbie Stone and Jeff Wade. It was this same team of world-class cavers from the Parevo Club that made all of the seminal descents of Vorovkina and of the other deep caves in the Gagra mountain range. Led by team leader Pavel Demidov, this expedition would be returning to the bottom of Vorovkina Cave to collect samples of some of the potentially undiscovered species and explore some of the promising horizontal passages at the bottom of the cave, all while having Robbie and Jeff document the entire thing. Now, in an ordinary cave of moderate depth, where you can descend and ascend in a single day, you'd still be bringing a decent amount of equipment because you need food and a bunch of climbing gear for every single person on the team. In caves as large as Varovkina Cave, the descent is more similar to an expedition that you'd expect to see when climbing a tall mountain. If you've ever watched anything related to Mount Everest, you may have heard of the multi-camp system. These camps are established higher and higher up the mountain to store food and gear and for the climbers to sleep and stay in between climbing. For multi-day expeditions on a mountain or in a deep enough cave, the amount of gear becomes way too much to transport at a single time. People have to climb up and down in advance to transport load after load of the necessary equipment to ensure a safe attempt. And Varovkina Cave is no different. In fact, because of how deep it is, it has a total of 6 camps at various depths on the way to the bottom. From the entrance, climbers have to put on special clothing, harnesses, and helmets fixed with headlamps. They then descend down the first shaft into the darkness and move through a series of tight tunnels and passages to reach the first camp at 2,000 feet. This camp is a permanently installed camp where gear and equipment are stored year-round for emergencies. Then, over the course of the next 4 days, Robbie, Jeff, and the Prevo Speleo Club made their way to Camp 6, all the way down at 6,900 feet. On their way, the temperature was just a few degrees above freezing. They crawled through mud and water, impossibly tight squeezes, and descended down 100-foot shafts over nothing but air. The thousands of feet of ropes that they used to make the descent were their only means of transportation in and out. Then, finally, they set foot onto the flat, sandy Camp 6 set up in a large horizontal tunnel. This would be their home for the remainder of the expedition. Over the next 3 days, the team set out from their camp to complete all of the tasks they had intended. One of these was to bring Robbie and Jeff to the lake that sits at the bottom. When they got there, they were stunned to see this beautiful turquoise water surrounded by jet black limestone. The lake is 50 feet long, 25 feet wide, and is actually 28 feet deep. If not for the lights they brought, it would sit there in complete darkness, entirely without color. On day 7, everything was still going according to plan, and that day, 2 of the members of the team had to leave early to catch a flight home. When they got up to Camp 3, there was a ton of water pouring into the cave. A massive storm up on the surface had caused a flood pulse to send thousands of liters of water rushing in. Inside these caves, you can't really communicate wirelessly because of the thick layers of rock, so instead, cavers have to run a physical line the entire length of the cave to communicate. The 2 team members immediately tapped into the cable to warn the others about the flood pulse headed their way. Down at Camp 6, they weren't all that worried when they initially got the call. Flood pulses are a common thing that cavers have to worry about. A single milliliter of rain is 1 liter per square meter, meaning that a single square kilometer receives 1,000 liters of water if just a single milliliter of rain falls. In heavy rain, that number is significantly higher. All of this water then bursts down into caves in equally huge volumes and can last for hours, depending on the volume of rain and how long it rains for. Again, they weren't all that worried when they first got the call. The Prevo group is world class, and their plan was to monitor the water level and then plan accordingly. Camp 6 had also been set up off of the main vertical shaft in what looked to be an area away from the flow of water. It was also at 6,900 feet, whereas the total depth was over 7,200 feet. For the water to reach them, it would have to fill up 300 feet of passages below them before it would reach them. About half an hour after they received the call, they heard the first sound of water approaching. It started off as a faint rumble and slowly grew like a train approaching. By the time it was just about to reach camp, it was so roaring loud that it was almost deafening. The entire cave shook like a constant earthquake was going on. Robbie had just started breakfast when the noise really started, and he and the others rushed out of their tents to see the approaching storm. As they turned their headlights towards the vertical shaft, a fire hose of water came pouring down. Robbie stood there with his mouth open and almost dropped the food he was holding. Not nearly as experienced as the Prevo team, Robbie was really concerned by the volume and speed of the water rushing in. But again, the spot they were in was completely dry, so he tried to stay calm like his Russian comrades. About 2 hours into the flooding, with no signs of it slowing, one of the team members noticed a gurgling sound coming from a small hole near the tent. He looked into the hole and couldn't see any water, but he figured he should tell the team leader anyway. Pavel agreed that this was a bit concerning, so they decided to go and check out a nearby siphon to see how much the water table had risen. They returned about 5 minutes later and looked into the hole once again. This time, not only could they see water, but it was rising so fast it was sloshing up around against the walls and almost out of the hole. The team member looked back at Robbie, and Robbie saw that his face had gone completely white. Immediately, he knew that this meant that they needed to leave, and leave right away. With the sound of water still almost deafening, all hell broke loose in the camp. No one expected to be leaving that day, but now everyone was running around packing up essential gear. Robbie and Jeff pulled on their latex suits over their fleece base layer. After that, they slipped on their abrasion-resistant nylon shells and harnesses. Robbie then made the tough decision to leave all of his camera equipment and personal items. Literally tens of thousands of dollars of equipment. He knew he couldn't risk being slowed down, or it could cost him his life or the life of one of his teammates. He pulled all of the memory cards out of the cameras, placed them in a Ziploc bag, and then slipped them into his latex suit. At the very least, he could save all of the pictures he had taken. With that, he called out to the others that he and Jeff would start their ascent, and then they started off for the vertical shaft out of the quickly flooding Camp 6. This would be the last interaction that they would have with the Russians at Camp 6. The remaining members of the Prevo team would wait for the team leader Powell before starting their ascent. As Robbie and Jeff made their way to the vertical ropes, they reached a narrow traverse, almost like a bridge that went along one wall. Prior to the flooding, the chamber beside the bridge was 60 feet deep and 25 feet wide of nothing but air. Now it was almost completely flooded, almost coming up over the side of the bridge. At the end of this narrow traverse were the vertical ropes and the source of the water pouring into the cave. Robbie stepped into the waterfall pouring down from the shaft and clipped his ascenders to the rope. Then he put his head down, took a deep breath, and started making his way up the rope as the water pummeled him from above. The water was coming down so hard it felt like it was crushing and suffocating him. It was literally as if his head was being squashed into his shoulders. Thankfully, he was able to tuck his chin, which allowed the water to run off of his helmet and create a small air pocket for him to breathe. Focusing on just the white rope directly in front of his face, he moved his ascenders up rhythmically as fast as he could. Finally, he reached an area with a small outcropping that he could step on and out of the waterfall to look up. He saw that the rope was coming out of a shoulder-sized hole in the rocks, but this was also the source of the water. Coming out of this little hole was a fire hose of water that seemed to take up the entire space. He thought to himself that there was no way he was going to be able to make it through that intense downpour. At the same time, he couldn't just stop. He was the lead climber. Everyone else was coming up behind him, and there was no telling what the water was like down below. He had to at least try to make it through. When he got to the hole, the force of the water was so strong that he was only able to push his ascenders a couple inches at a time. He finally made it through the squeeze and then realized that Jeff would have to do the same thing. He had no idea whether or not Jeff would be able to make it, so he just kept climbing as high as he could to get out of the way. In his panic, he hadn't realized that this new section of the cave was mostly dry. The water flowed down a different route to the squeeze, so he was relatively safe where he was. But because he was so full of adrenaline, he was mindlessly climbing for his life as fast and as high as he could. He only finally realized what he was doing when Jeff yelled out to him to slow down. Snapping out of it, he stopped and waited for Jeff to catch up before they continued. When Jeff reached him, his face was white, his eyes were wide, but he exclaimed that they were at least alive. The two of them silently wondered if the same could be said for the Prevo team down below. Robbie and Jeff eventually made it up to Camp 5 at 6,200 feet, where they waited, hoping they would see the Russians any minute. As the cave continued to shake around them, they occasionally looked down over the edge into the abyss. Miraculously, down below they saw a single headlamp slowly making its way up the shaft. When he was finally close enough, they realized it was Andre. After he climbed up into camp, they asked him if he had seen the others, and he just shook his head silently. They all sat there, thinking about the worst-case scenario. Down below, by the time Pavel had returned from the siphon, the bridge that Robbie and Jeff had walked across was completely submerged. The rest of the team members had to actually swim to reach the vertical ropes. The last to swim out was Pavel, and as he was making his way out, the chamber had become a swirling vortex. All of the water draining deeper into the cave had turned into a giant whirlpool. When he went through it, it spun him around and he had to swim hard to make it to the line. By the time they were ascending, all of the deeper passages were completely submerged in water. Then, 15 minutes after Andre emerged, 5 more lights could be seen making their way up the shaft. One by one, all of the remaining members of the Prevo team made their way up to Camp 5. Robbie watched them ascend out of the flooded passage and couldn't believe how strong and capable they were. One team member was even carrying a stove and 4 sleeping bags attached to his harness. He thought to himself how glad he was that it was him and Jeff that had gone first. If they had been the ones to climb up last, it's likely that they wouldn't have survived. And then when they climbed up into camp, they were quickly in the tent having coffee and laughing about the entire ordeal. Robbie, on the other hand, was still thoroughly freaked out. For hours, he refused to take off his gear and kept looking down into the chasm to see if the water was still rising. 200 feet above them was a horizontal passage that they needed to pass to move higher into the cave.
Alright, yeah, good job, boy. Let's see.
I thought that was you.
Who?
Right there.
Right here?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you got jokes.
Yeah, kind of look alike.
Cut the cap.
Ooh.
What?
That's 36 minutes. Yeah, we could probably watch something about, those people that be eating people in New Orleans. I forgot their names, but just look up New Orleans cannibal.
Where you see that at? There ain't no motherfucking...
And they say be people that be eating people there. And you need to, stay away from them.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, or no, I think they call pig people.
Pig people?
Yeah, New Orleans. Pig something.
Like a ghost story?
Yeah, or yeah, that one. Look at the first one, even though it's a minute.
History books. Come here, let me stretch y'all out right fast, because this is the New Orleans hood history on the pig people. Now, I don't know much about the pig people because there is no really proof on this, but this is a story that has been circulating in New Orleans for a few years now, but my grandmother a historian and she never heard it, so it's probably not true, but follow me anyway. This is kind of what I heard pig people look like, but I heard at first the legend was that they was outside of New Orleans in a place called Mishu, and they would grab your children, they lived in the woods or something like that. Then I heard that this was the pig people house, but then I seen regular people going in and out of there. And some people say that it's people over under the Elysia Fields Bridge by Claiborne that's eating people as cannibals, and they are the pig people with their nose turned up. I don't know if none of this is true, but I do know that a lot of people heard of it because Master P and Lil Romeo was doing a movie called The Pig People about New Orleans in 2009, but it never came out because you know Master P.
What do I want? I want to know myself. And
New Orleans is a city located in the state of Louisiana.
Get your ass out of here, girl.
Full of culture and a rich history. However, it is also a city that is infamous for being dark, mysterious, and haunted. There are legends about evil murders, voodoo spirits, and creepy creatures that haunt this city. How's it going, YouTube? I'm your host for this one. I'm Landon Do Not Sing, and I'm really sick right now. I'm trying to get through this video for you guys. I want to entertain you for this one, but I feel like right now I'm just so out of breath. But I'll try my best to get through this. And if you guys are a fan of Urban Legends videos and you guys want more, make sure you guys click right here. We put together a full playlist for you guys. You guys can go binge watch. Alright, so enough of all that. Let's get right into what you guys clicked for. This is the top 10 scary New Orleans urban legends. The Grudge Road Monster digs its teeth in at number 10. This scary looking creature has been apparently spotted all over New Orleans. People say it looks like a goat creature with leather or scaly green skin and sharp spines. He has long horns running down his back and he stands about 3 to 4 feet high. The Grudge is very intelligent, and he can even open doors, use tools, and he has a piercing scream. His name was derived from a road that is located in eastern New Orleans. People who were seen as misfits were forced to live in this area as a way to try to clean up the city. Well, shortly after, people started to report a bunch of disappearances. It was believed that this monster was responsible for killing all of these missing people, and a lot of people have even claimed that they've seen the Grudge Road monster feasting on animals and eating out of dumpsters. La Feu Follet, or the Cajun Fairy, burns onto our list in at number 9. According to the legend, these fairies are souls of dead people who appear as balls of fire in the swampy areas surrounding New Orleans. But they can also be extremely evil in order to mislead people. They can cause people to wander in the swamps where they eventually drown. Even to this day, people still warn people not to follow any fiery balls of light or they risk the possibility of dying. Lafayette's Blacksmith Shop Bar brings us to number 8. This is a small tavern that is located on the corner of Bourbon and St. Philip. It was built in the early 1700s and it is one of the oldest surviving buildings in New Orleans. According to the legend, a French-American pirate robbed ships on the Gulf of Mexico and he buried his treasure in the building's bricks. So now there is a fireplace grate in the downstairs bar and it is rumored to be the resting place of his fortune. Some people say that you can see ghostly red eyes staring from the grate, and other legends say that this ghost guards the treasure and he haunted the bar. Some people have even claimed to see his ghost. St. Louis Cemetery number 1 haunts us in at number 7. This creepy cemetery is probably one of the most haunted and historic cemeteries in New Orleans. There are hundreds of ghost stories about the cemetery that dates back over 200 years, but the most infamous ghost that haunts this site is Marie Laveau, the queen of voodoo. When she was alive, she was very interested in blending Catholicism with voodoo in order to make a new religion. She practiced black magic, and she even taught her daughter how to perform voodoo rituals and spells. She died in 1881, but according to the legend, she returns to life once every year on St. John's Eve to convert people to worship her. If you disrespect her spirit, it is believed that she will physically punish you. So if you want to see if this is only an urban legend, there are tours that will take you to her grave, but you guys really want to find out if this is more than just a legend? Yeah, I don't think so. I know I wouldn't step foot on her grave, and I wouldn't lose sleep not knowing if this was real or not. La Prada House takes us to number 6. This was the site of one of the most gruesome mass slayings in New Orleans history. In the late 1830s, a wealthy man from Turkey moved into a mansion, but he also brought in a lot of people to live there with him. Well, over the years, the mansion was known for its mysterious parties, but one morning, a neighbor noticed blood trickling from beneath the gates. Once the police entered the mansion, they found the Turkish man was buried alive in the yard, and all of his servants were mutilated, assaulted, and murdered. To this day, the ghosts of his servants can be found wandering and haunting the home, screaming in terror. Scaring us in at number 5, we have a haunted hotel. Hotel Monteleone was built in 1886, and it was a very luxurious hotel in New Orleans. Over the years, hotel staff and guests have experienced unexplainable and scary encounters with the paranormal. Locked doors would mysteriously open and close themselves every night. Elevators would stop on the wrong floors and lead people into some dark hallways. Sometimes you can even see ghostly images of children playing in abandoned hallways. The legend says that a former employee who died in this hotel still roams the halls, and the spirit of the little boy haunts the halls as well. I don't know about you guys, but I definitely wouldn't spend one night in this creepy hotel. And now at number 4, we have the LaLaurie Mansion. This very expensive mansion was situated on Royal Street, and it was occupied in 1832 by the LaLaurie family. Delphine LaLaurie was a very rich and successful woman, but she also had a dark and evil side to her. It was rumored that she tortured the slaves and servants that lived in her home. One day, a fire started in the kitchen by one of her servants because they were tired of being abused. When the fire was finally put out, the authorities were shocked by what they discovered. They saw the remains of tortured and chained slaves, and their bodies were severely mutilated. However, Delphine managed to escape, and she fled to France, but the horrors that happened happened in the mansion weren't over. People still report that they can hear loud screams of the victims whenever someone new moves in, and strange things happen all the time here. A scary looking werewolf nibbles his way into number 3. The Rougarou is an urban legend that parents tell their children in order to prevent them from misbehaving. This scary looking creature is believed to be a human that is able to transform into a werewolf. One legend says that this creature will hunt down and kill Catholics who do not follow Lent, but according to another legend, the Rougarou causes a lot of mischief in the streets until someone can kill it. But just before it dies, it becomes human again and warns its killer not to tell anyone about his death for 1 year. If you don't listen to his instructions, you will become the next Rougarou. The Devil Man sinks his teeth in at number 2. In 1938, a devilish man was believed to roam the streets of Algiers, and he loved to harass couples. People describe him as having long black horns, bright pink ears that were shaped like stars, and he also had huge cartoon eyes. Although he never killed anyone permanently, I'm not even sure what that means. He never killed anyone permanently. He have killed people. They were killed, and then they were all of a sudden not killed. Well, he was sent to induce temporary deaths onto his victims. So a lot of people who came into contact with the Devil Man have reported that their lives flashed before their eyes. They would also be cursed with terrible nightmares long after their encounter with the devil, which could haunt them for the rest of their lives. The Vampires of New Orleans bites into number 1. Rumors about vampires living in New Orleans have been going on.
Told you. You thought I was smiling. I told you. They said it's the vampire capital of the United States, New Orleans.
Like real life vampires.
Like they said, real life vampires. That's why I told you. I didn't even know this was gonna be number 1, and I told you.
For years. However, maybe this next urban legend isn't just a story. Locals believe that New Orleans is a home to a ton of real vampires. During the 1930s, 2 brothers named John and Wayne Carter were executed for committing multiple murders. There was about a dozen bodies that were drained of their blood, and they were discovered after one woman managed to escape from their apartment. However, even after their death, lots of people reported that they have seen the brothers roaming in the streets, possibly looking for their next victim. And this is really strange because their body had mysteriously disappeared from the family's funeral vault. So what the heck happened? Well, there you guys have it. You made it to the end of this video. I just want...
Let's do a real scary one. Oh, let's see if they got one in DC. Or like other areas.
From ants and octopuses all the way to snakes.
I don't think it's nothing in DC. Oh, White House. I know you look up North Carolina, there's gonna be a million videos.
Oh yeah, you know. Yeah. Let's do.
Gooder, $25 active sunglasses for anyone. That includes you, miscellaneous fact.
Hello everybody, I'm your host Woody, and today we're going to be taking a look at 10 more scary GoPro recordings no one should ever see, even though we're showing them to you now. We all know what we're getting into at this point, so let's just jump right into it. Number 10, Ghost Girl. Let's kick this list off with the paranormal footage of what some people believe to be a ghost or some other supernatural being. In 2017, a YouTuber posted footage of him and his friends in Mexico at night. The footage starts off with the group standing on a street, seemingly having been frightened by something as they shine their flashlights down the road. You can't see anything at first, but the men seem certifiably spooked and must have all seen something pretty scary to put them in this state. When the camera turns to one of the boys on the ground, it then moves back up, showing the outline of a girl standing against a building. It appears to be a woman with long dark hair, with her neck turned at an odd angle. Though it's a bit hard to make out exactly what it is or what the person looks like, this is apparently the creature that had scared the boys, as they react with panic and immediately start running away. Number 9, the morgue. This video was also published in 2017 by a user called SteadyPop. They were exploring an abandoned building when they came across an underground morgue. As they walk closer to the dark hallway, you can hear the distinct sound of something metal slamming against the wall. As they walk further down the flickering hallway, you get the distinct feeling that this is the worst decision a horror movie character could ever make. Just turn around and leave. But the cameraman doesn't, and instead braves the dark expanse of the morgue, discovering the source of the slamming sound. It is a large red door, rhythmically banging open and shut. The sound of the banging is just so loud and terrifying. While some people in the comments have claimed it was just a trick with a fishing line, could the fishing line really have been able to slam the door that hard? Number 8, cliff diving. Alright, now let's quickly move out of the paranormal and go to another just terrifying, death-defying situation. I found this video on TikTok and it seems to show a man going cliff diving. He is crawling along the top of the cliff, holding on to what looks to be a fence, potentially showing the fact that he is in a restricted or even dangerous area. But he continues on, moving towards where the water is. He eventually makes it to the point that he decides to jump from, but this immediately shows itself to be a pretty bad idea. As he jumps in, it becomes clear in the footage that he may not make it to the water, and he realizes this himself, yelling out in fear. Fortunately, he does not hit the rocks below, just barely making it to the water. If he had been only a few inches closer, he likely would have hit the ground and suffered from severe injuries. The near miss is terrifying to watch and has you on the edge of your seat hoping that he makes it. Number 7, bad ideas. Alright, now back to the paranormal. I've titled this one Bad Ideas because it comes from a YouTube channel called The Bad Ideas, and the whole situation is just generally a bad idea. He is riding down a trail with his friend with a GoPro camera mounted on his head, when he suddenly comes across another GoPro that appears to have been strategically left on a tree stump for someone else to find. They then have the bad idea of taking it home and seeing what footage is on it. When they open the camera, a piece of paper falls out that appears to have a password, and when they get into the footage, it is incredibly eerie. It is scarily edited footage of a mysterious masked creature, a walking mannequin, a young man with a skull, and a weirdly edited photo of Jesus. Some people say that the video is staged due to the placement of the GoPro, but even if it is staged, the footage is enough to put anyone on edge. Many people in the comments believing that the footage is actually cursed. Number 6, forest creature. This one was uploaded to YouTube under an account called Strange Videos, and it definitely fits that description. The footage comes from someone walking in the woods, filming their experience on their GoPro. Suddenly, in the background of the footage, you can see what appears to be a dark and mysterious creature. As the videographer gets closer, the identity of the creature becomes even more confusing. Many people saying that it's clear that it's not Bigfoot, but it definitely isn't human either. It appears to be tall and skinny, swaying its arms in a slow and purposeful motion. The footage is incredibly eerie to watch, as you feel like you're just waiting for it to turn around and look into the camera. Like the last one, some people believe that this footage has been staged or edited, but again, the footage is still incredibly unsettling, real or not. To me, it looks like this guy managed to catch a demogorgon on camera. Number 5, kayaking. Let's have another break from the paranormal and switch over to the just straight up scary. This one is another one that I found on TikTok and comes from a man who is kayaking with a GoPro attached to his helmet. He is peacefully going down the water when an alligator appears to come out of nowhere from the side of the footage. The alligator bumps into the side of the kayak, flipping it over and leaving the man underwater and vulnerable to attack. Fortunately for him, he appears to know what he's doing and is able to quickly flip himself back over and get out of the situation. The alligator also apparently seems to have lost interest, as you can't see it anywhere nearby in the footage after the original attack. Perhaps it was just interested in playing a quick prank and scaring the kayaker. The situation is over and done with pretty quickly, but I'm sure the man had this on his mind for a long time and probably avoided kayaking that area for at least a little while. Number 4, Witch Hut. This footage comes from a vlogger on YouTube that has apparently been having some strange experiences. He says that he has been having run-ins with a witch and decides to go into the forest in the dead of night and search for where she's been living. Definitely sounds like a great horror movie plot. The footage shows the vlogger stumbling upon wooden crosses, which he says indicate that this is the home of the witch. Also showing a large crosses, which he says indicate that this is the home of the witch. Also showing a large teepee made out of branches. He says that he also found other ceremonial and strange items, but he doesn't actually show them in the video. He suddenly gets frightened and turns to the left, shining his flashlight. It reveals a woman standing eerily still, wearing what looks like a white gown or a wedding dress. She has dark hair, and in the video also looks to me like she has no face, though this could just be a result of the video quality and lighting. The vlogger finally decides to make a good decision and runs away from the area as soon as he encounters the witch. Number 3, Abandoned Hospital. We've covered urban exploration a few times in this series, and let's take a look at another one, this time coming from an abandoned hospital facility. This one is potentially a mix of paranormal and just a frightening human encounter. The YouTuber called Ruin Road is walking through the facility when he gets to a dark area on a lower level. He hears a grunting voice come from the dark, and he responds with a quick "hi" before quickly making his way out of there, not wanting to discover who or what was making the noise. When he gets outside, however, he is met with someone who tells him that he's not allowed to be there, claiming to be a security guard at the facility that is apparently being rebuilt. The man then offers to give him a tour of the place if he pays him some cash. Many people believe that this man was actually not a security guard or worker of any kind, and that this easily could have turned into a pretty scary situation for the YouTuber. Number 2, Fire Alarm. This video was published in 2017 by a YouTuber called Edge Ninja. Apparently, a lot of creepy things happened on GoPro in 2017 for some reason. The man explains that the factory, as it's called, has always been an eerie landmark in the community. Apparently, no one ever seeing anyone or anything going in or out of the abandoned building for many years. One day, however, he realizes that there is a fire alarm going off in the building, despite it apparently being dormant for around 30 years. He circles the building to show that the alarm is going off in multiple different areas, but the creepiest part comes when he zooms into a window to show the alarm that's going off in a stairwell. People pointed out that in the window to the left, you can see what appears to be a creepy figure. Many people saying that it looks like a ghostly face. Number 1, Abandoned Street. Now let's wrap up this list with something that isn't paranormal and isn't death-defying, but is instead just downright creepy and unsettling. Urban exploration videos often share the discovery of creepy things, whether it be graffiti demonic symbols or maybe leftover documents from an abandoned asylum. But this YouTuber found something pretty unique. He was exploring an abandoned street when he decided to enter one of the empty buildings. As he walks through the house, it seems to be your typical abandoned location, peeling paint, graffiti, and broken floors. But when he enters the basement of the home, he finds something he definitely didn't expect. A spine vertebrae. He does what any sane person would do and pokes it a bit, because why wouldn't you? People in the comments debate over whether it's from an animal or a human being, but what we know for sure is that it's definitely creepy. Thank you guys for watching. That was 10 more scary GoPro recordings. No one
them clowns. You say you were scared of them.
I said I was scared.
Oh, was that me?
That was you.
I'm not scared of them. I just think they're creepy. Like Like if I was to see one, I'll just go the other way.
Come here. Come here. Come here. Take off your mask. Take off your mask.
That'd be you.
Exposed. Exposed. Exposure. We got the video.
Look at this crowd. Get your ass out of that motherfucker. Don't. Get the fuck on, nigga. Fuck wrong with you, nigga. Leave these kids alone, bitch.
Shit. That's one of those clowns. Are you serious?
Okay, what do I do? What do I do?
Lock back up, dude.
Lock your door.
Okay, yeah.
It looks like he's like high on something. Yo!
What the fuck, dude? I honestly don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Calm down, dude. No railing or something.
Yo, fucking, I'm going. Fuck this shit.
Oh, shit. Holy fuck. Oh, fuck.
Oh, is he alright?
Dude, he's coming back. Get him.
Fuck. Go.
Dude, Josh, no. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
Oh!
It's a fucking clown! Oh my god!
Nigga be scared of me if I did that shit.
Yeah.
You know I got all those masks.
Then go the other way. Free hugs. I don't know hug from you. You're giving people too much power.
What the fuck? Oh my god! What the fuck?
That is so creepy.
Yeah, I couldn't even know. I wouldn't even know what the fuck to do. Like just walking randomly and I just see it.
If I was in a car, I just want to move her. But if I'm walking,
Ah, shit! He's right after us! Hit it! Hit that bitch! Hit that bitch! Oh, shit! Oh my god!
What the fuck? Oh hell no!
Why are they so scared?
Oh.
They in the car.
Cause the nigga jumped on the car.
But they can't hurt them.
He jumped on the car.
Still can't hurt you though. You in the car. Oh, they already used to pulls up before they even seen it.
I remember this video from back in the day.
I would have been so scared if I seen that. Could have thought it was real.
Yeah, if I'm randomly walking and I just see a clown, like you don't randomly just think you're gonna see a random clown.
Mm-hmm. Oh! All that blood.
Can you imagine if like you don't got no gas?
Mm-hmm. You just stuck.
I'd have got a gun.
They would have ran once they seen that.
Pissed off.
Oh, what you doing? Late reaction.
Oh yeah, I think this is the one.
Oh no, people got too much time on their hands.
Nah, they really do though.
I couldn't do that. I don't do clowns.
I'm trying to see some more. I want to see some more scary shit. What's the other one?
What? Oh, why is she not running? I don't know what to do. Why would we get on? You're not doing that little kick. At least he fought back.
Nigga life flash was ass.
It's too risky to do that. You never know if you got a weapon or not. She's getting out of there. We should have got on with the.
Hey, they be kicking this shit. Hey, yo.
Ain't doing nothing.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo.
taking them so long to react? Like, I would have been got out of there.
Look at that nigga running. Look at that nigga running.
Oh, we can see this. I know we couldn't.
I would have been ran. Like, what the fuck is you waiting on? Oh yeah, I like this one too.
Would you have stopped?
Nah, fuck
No?
no.
Oh, like, what's wrong?
Yeah, you would have. You sweet for it.
This should have got me. So that would have been me. Ooh!
Nigga fail, man. Nigga running like shit.
That's how you know you scared. Start falling. Oh no.
I know he like, man, I just got off work, late night.
I'm just trying to go home. Help. Got the dog too. Oh, that's right. That really was scaring me. She's just looking at him. Sweetie, big and
He was just great.
Right.
Oh, nigga fail. Oh, that nigga fail.
Oh, there it go.
Run.
Wait, what happened?
Run.
Oh, bud, what are you doing? Are you alright? What the? You alright?
Run.
Did he just pass out or something? Or you go back?
Yeah, look at him.
Run.
Had a heart attack? Poor guy.
Fat ass bucket of KFC. And he worked there.
Run. Run.
What happened? What are the lights off?
I think the electricity cut out.
Turn them off.
Run. Run.
Nigga.
Choking that dog.
Nah, nigga jumped out the tree.
Run. Run.
Why they keep falling?
That nigga breaking like shit.
Run. Run.
He was funny. Oh, you know he's gonna be funny. Oh, he won't stop.
Run. Run. Run.
Yo!
Run. Run.
Oh, no, got out of here.
I like shit like that.
Yeah, that was funny.
What was this? Oh, I ain't see this. Oh, this gonna be a scary one.
Japan. Oh, you know they don't play over there.
I know, right? It's gonna be scary.
Everything they be doing to the extreme.
Everything. It's dumb. It's dumb. And like Germany.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Germans, they go to extreme too.
That's like the worst place too to be doing that.
A whale.
Mm-hmm. It's already dark and scary enough. Mm.
Y'all making this a real movie. Let's get to the scary shit.
Get to the nitty gritty.
What's she standing on? What they standing on? Stilts? Nah, that'll be creepy as shit though. You just walking and you just see a big ass thing.
Mm-hmm.
He left her. Hey, bro, you left her. Hey, Mo. Hey, Mo. That ain't a good boyfriend.
See where his legs is
Somebody gotta let it tell a story.
That's gonna be a long talk when she catch up to him.
Somebody gotta let it tell a story. Rather be me than you.
She was like, so that's what we doing now? You gonna leave me?
I'd rather be me than you.
They see it before they even get in there.
Yo! 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 That nigga head and feet.
Wherever your summer takes you, path light.
Oh, this is the one they was talking about.
How did he not see that?
Cause he went right there. He ain't go around.
I thought he would have seen it.
Yeah, I know that big ass jump. Look.
Oh my god, that's so scary. He should have went inside.
Ooh, nigga, I would have died. Hey, I would have died. Hey, can you imagine this big?
Cats think scary. I'm scared of everything.
How don't y'all see that big motherfucker?
Tunnel vision, they be like me, not paying attention. Ooh, he fast.
Go the fuck in! Go the fuck in, yo! Yo! That nigga is running fast as shit, yo.
You be on the track team.
Look at my man back there.
They already suspicious. I got their flashlight on.
Run. Run. Run.
Police officer?
I want y'all scared him.
Run.
That might be like
Run.
in Europe or London. They can't have guns over there.
That makes sense.
Run. Run.
Nigga just got off work.
Run.
Oh! Yeah, you see that?
I seen
Run.
it. She didn't break up with him.
Yo!
Run.
Alright, let's see what he gonna do.
Run.
Yeah, okay. That's what they supposed to do.
Run.
Girl.
Run. Run. Run.
How you get into a doctor's office?
Probably went there regular, did all that stuff. You scared? You just don't thank you. He sees you go in the trash can.
I just fucking went to the movies, he said. Fucking feel so drained, man. Work fucking killed me today.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's
man.
good?
Fucking Ricky, bro. Don't fucking like it, bro, man. I need a new job, like fucking bartending or something. You know, something easy. Your back's fucking killing me, mate. Can't fucking do it anymore.
Run.
What the fuck is that?
Now his back gonna hurt even
Run.
more.
Run.
Yeah, but if I had to.
As you should.
Run.
Out of there.
Any pussy.
Run.
Do-rags.
Yeah.
Run.
I think it's going to repeat now.
Run. Run.
He left his son.
Run. 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 Run.
Playing the same ones.
I know, right?
I'll do that one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oi, segura a porta aí só um minutinho, por favor.
Segura a porta, por favor, com a gente.
Só um instantinho, por favor.
Só um minutinho que eu vou pegar as flores.
Pegar a coroa ali, a gente já volta, tá? Só mais um minutinho.
Só um instante. Só um minuto. Ô moça, o que aconteceu aí? Moça, o que aconteceu? Aí devagar, devagar, vem, vem, vem. Vem, devagar. Aí.
É rapidinho, tá?
Vamos encaixar ele aí. Isso. Ok, só um minutinho pegar as flores aqui. Só um minuto, só um minuto.
Nigga, life probably flashed before the eyes. Look at him!
Oh no, he's doing way too much. He's really traumatizing these people.
Man, what? I never get on the elevator again. I'm telling you.
Só um minutinho que eu vou pegar as flores.
He already suspicious. Like, what? Why is this lame?
Só um minutinho, por favor. Só um instante. Só.